Thank you. The last slide from Avi was great because it said he invites to collaborate. And this year I was in Davos at the World Economic Forum annual event, and they asked me, what do we need to improve the state of the world? And my answer was collaboration. So, and Jan, you also said, you know, there are different types of problems, and we talked today, or I talked today about waste, and this is definitely complex and chaotic. So, I'm Karsten, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Fischer, and we clean rivers to save oceans. And why I'm here today is I had the pleasure to meet Jos at his world tour in my hometown Cologne. And I told him what we do, and he said, hey, why don't you speak at the TIA summit? And I said, well, I check for this. And I went home and I told Johanna, hey, I need to go to Bangalore to speak at the TIA summit. And she said, well, you're crazy because we're getting married the week after. And I said, okay, but I think Jos is a good guy and the summit seems legit, so I think I need to take this opportunity. She said, well, then better you know, use the time well. So I still have 8 minutes 50 left, so let's see what I can make out of it. Plastic, complex problem. I will keep it short because of the time. But why is plastic ending up in the rivers? One of the big problems is that we have a lot of mismanaged waste. We see here is India, and we heard it previously already, that we have a lot of, especially in emerging markets, we had a lot of mismanaged waste. It's around 40% that is mismanaged, another 40% that is landfilled, and then we have some percent that is actually managed. And you know, India is of course not the only country struggling with this. I lived in Indonesia, and it looks the same. So what happens with this waste? It's leaking into the oceans. Here we can see like a hotspot map where plastic is leading or entering the oceans. And we see a lot of this plastic is coming from Asia or Southeast Asia. So what is the problem with this? First of all, and this is why we found the company, it's killing marine life. And this has thousands of effects down the road. Fishermen will lose their jobs, they become pirates, for example. It adds up to climate change. It costs a lot of money. This study says $2.5 trillion a year. This is a lot. Yesterday we heard 13.7 billion a year. Whatever it is, it's a huge amount of money to clean up what is already going into the ocean and what has ended up there. And we can prevent this with, you know, much less money. In fact, more than 80% of ocean plastic is coming from Asian rivers. And, you know, this is the Citarum in Indonesia, one of the most polluted rivers in the world. But we also have this problem in India. This is pictures that my colleagues took. It's in Varanasi or in Kanpur or in Trivandrum, where we have polluted drains. And this is a situation that we face in many countries in emerging markets. This is a picture my co-founder Moritz took when I was living with him in Indonesia. And of course there's also a problem of awareness, because if it's everywhere polluted, what does it matter if I throw my plastic bag into this dump site, right? So it's, I think, a complex problem. We can agree on that. What to do? And we said, okay, do. So we founded the company, you know, we were 3 friends. This is Moritz on the left, me in the middle, and George to the right. And we went to Vietnam end of 2018, and we had an apartment with a view on the Mekong Delta. And we saw all this plastic coming down the river 24/7. And we went back home, and we couldn't forget about this. And we did a little bit of research. We came up, okay, 10 million tons of plastic go into the oceans every year. That's 1 truckload every single minute being literally dumped in the oceans. And we figured out no company is tackling ocean plastic already in rivers. So we founded the first company to do that, with a mission to develop very simple technologies to, you know, have a scalable solution in emerging markets to collect river plastic and protect marine biodiversity. What we need is something that the Germans are famous for, efficient technology, and actually we came up with that. And this is not rocket science, I agree on that. We'll come later to the point why this is the case. It's a swimming barrier that can be built worldwide. Yesterday we heard made in India, made for India, made for the rest of the world. And this is kind of what also applies to this technology. It's actually open source, so we published the construction manual, so everyone can do that and take action. So it's a swimming barrier, we can make it everywhere in the world, and it's a modular system. So we put together as many elements as we need to cover a river, and this is then how it looks like. And this is where I lived with Moritz for more than half a year, and where we developed this fence. This is one of the most polluted rivers in the world, the Citarum in Indonesia. Okay, we have a technology that works. What else do we need? We need a dedicated team. So, to be fair, oh, I skipped one. I'm a lawyer by profession. It's very boring. It's easy to quit this job, okay? So I quit the job to found the company with my friends. We have Aviel in the team. He was, for 10 years, leading mechanical engineer in the Israeli Navy. And he said, I want to do, use my knowledge for something, more purposeful. Then I have Rishabh and Harish with me here today, my first employees, India, now directors of Plastic Fischer India, and I would like to give them also a hand for the great job they are doing. So thank you guys. Without you, this would not work, because I'm sitting in Germany and you guys are actually doing the work. What we do is we hire local project managers and they put together a team on the ground to carry out the daily work. We look into that in a few seconds. So we're in India, obviously, so let's talk about Indian operations of Plastic Fischer. This is our trash boom in Varanasi. It's a different model, but it's basically the same idea. And this plastic that you can see there is not going into the Ganga and eventually in the oceans. This is the Varuna River in Varanasi, same thing. This is Trivandrum, and our simple system stopped 15 tons of plastic, and we cleaned that up on Vishu. Yeah, it's a national holiday, and we went there with a team, we cleaned that up entirely, and I will never forget this day, I can promise. It was super hot and a big challenge. And that's what we do basically every day. We set up our sorting facilities, we manage this waste, and make sure it's not ending up in the environment again, not going to the landfills, not being openly burned. So we send it to cement companies where it's used as RDF, what we heard before. Besides the social impact, the environmental impact, we also create social impact. So we set up sorting facilities, we invest in infrastructure and stay. Yeah, and what you can see here are Plastic Fischer full-time employees. We pay for the health insurance, for the provident funds. We primarily, or previously, daily workers are now full-time employees. They don't have to worry about their salaries anymore. 2 more employees here in Bangalore. We also raise awareness. This is our weekly Ganga cleanup drive, where more than 100 participants join us every day, every week, and we raise awareness for the topic of plastic pollution. Ganga is the most polluted river in the world. Yamuna River, also in India, second most polluted river in the world. So awareness raising is definitely important. Plastic Fischer is not a tech provider. I said this earlier. We published our construction manual open source. I mean, if a graphic designer and a lawyer come up with a swimming barrier, it cannot be that hard to copy that anyway. So when the World Economic Forum became aware of our solution, our inbox exploded. Yeah, so we said, okay, let's make it easy for people to do everything, to start something. But Plastic Fischer comes and takes care of the entire operations. We hire people, we set up sorting facilities, we set up our systems. Every day we're collecting, we're managing this plastic and make sure it's not going into the oceans and the landfills again. So we are a service provider for companies that want to contribute to cleaner rivers in Asia, in India. Let's talk about 46 seconds, that's going to be hard. Okay, who knows the ocean cleanup? Hand up, we don't have time. Who knows the ocean cleanup? Okay, not so many people. They collected in 8 years for more than $60 million, 100 tons. We have done twice than that alone in this year. We are more than 300 times more efficient than that. And we do this with a very local approach and, do this in the place of operation. Help us scale along coastline in India. We need to scale that if we want to make a difference. Again, 10 million tons of plastic. So yeah, we need to scale this up. And there are already a lot of companies doing that. You can see maybe Allianz. They are financing the entire project of Trivandrum for 3 years. And time's up, and I will show you a 30-second video of what Allianz is financing. And I really hope that I find more companies that are committing to the same value, because the oceans affect us all. And let's take a look at this. So there is also a long version of this video, but as I also wanted to say something, I decided to show you just the quick one. Yeah, clean rivers with us. We're here, we're in India. Rishabh, Harish are here. I'm just here for a visit, to visit Joe's. So thank you very much, and yeah, enjoy the TIA Summit. Joe's, thanks for having me.